So this conversation today has to do with really looking at what is like spiritual technology. What is that? Because so much of what people do with, whether you want to call it spiritual technology, spirituality, religion, even self-help, personal development, okay, even all these things that encompass all these kind of self-help approaches that are out there. And I want to take a close look at what exactly is what we should be striving for, okay, instead of just what everyone's doing out there. And I'm going to focus it mostly on spirituality, meaning kind of like defining spirituality as like some kind of methodology or approach that people are using to try to make changes in consciousness, changes in creating more of a state of happiness, essentially being a happier, more peaceful, more functional kind of human being. And in these spiritual paths, people spend forever and ever and ever and ever, and if you look at the results, even after decades, really decades of some of these paths, the change, the transformation is not that impressive. You know what I mean? I hear somebody talks about like 10 years of like meditation in terms of like how they're more peaceful and more graceful in handling things. But you know, we're talking like 10 years or somebody even 20 years, you know, talking about a path, things that should be able to be accomplished in, you know, weeks, months, sometimes even days. And the thing behind that is that these things can be done in weeks, months, or days, but the approach, the methodology needs to be correct, and that's what's missing is the systematic methodology. And I want to talk about what it is that we should be doing to really be practicing a kind of, let's say, spirituality, something where we're having deeper breakthroughs into more of an infinite awareness, more of an awareness of like an interconnectedness, and also functional. So not just interconnectedness and then staying like on a hippie level, because there's a lot of paths that go down that road. You know, like think of a lot of Eastern paths that really go down that road of like meditating, feeling the oneness, but then like nothing much comes out of it. It's not particularly functional. It sounds cool when they talk about it. You know, I could do that right here. You know, it sounds really cool talking about that stuff, but it's not going to give you much of a better quality of life, because much of what we want as human beings to feel more of a sense of satisfaction is growth, is expansion, is having important desires in our lives, important desires, and feeling a sense of belief that these things will happen and a sense of empowerment around these things taking place. So, what I want to say around that thing is, what exactly constitutes then an advanced spiritual path, a real spiritual technology or methodology? Okay, this is very important. It is vitally important that whatever we're doing is something that is transforming us neurologically. Okay, this is vitally important. Something that is transforming us neurologically. Because the way the brain is working, if we don't understand something about brain function and neurology, then you're doing a very sloppy kind of a spirituality. That's all it is. It's sloppy. You know, it's sloppy and it's touchy-feely and it's airy-fairy and it's like not much happens. Okay? We can condense all that time of going to spiritual meetings and this and reading another book and you know, listening to another audio tape, watching more DVDs. You know, all those things are okay because it's good to constantly flood your brain with messages that are in alignment with what you want, with what you're striving for spiritually. So I would say it's better to listen to those kinds of things, even if though they're not explained well. A lot of these popular spiritual, you know, authors talking, better to listen to that because at least it's keeping your mind in an environment that's supportive. Okay, better that than like the news. You know, better that than watching some stupid show that's about, you know, these dumb dramatic situations that are just pretty asinine. You know, is really what it comes down to. So for that, they serve their purpose. But what we should be really striving for is understanding neurology, understanding that we have a bunch of essentially habit patterns in our brains. neurological wirings, okay? And we want to recreate what's in there. We want to choose what we do want. Again, choose what we do want and recreate it to empowering neurological habit patterns, okay? And when that starts to happen, then that's a real spirituality. That's a functional spirituality. Let me check the time here. Okay, sorry. So I should be looking at the clock. So that's a functional spirituality. And this is something that we need to do. Focus on what it is that we want. Okay? That's kind of like the step one, right? Decide what it is that a person that you want. And condition, repattern in patterns. Condition. That's why positive thinking is kind of a joke. You know, it's not about positive thinking, because positive thinking essentially means that your subconscious mind is full of whatever patterns it has, and in most cases it's going to be negative, right? You can say that, you know, whatever, most of the world is running on negative programming. So you got the 90% of the negative programming hanging out here, let's say like the subconscious mind. Let's say it's a little deeper than the conscious mind, just even physically on the brain, right? And you got all this, and then you're trying to do positive thinking. Oh, today I'm happy, you know. But the positive thinking is like a little wave, like think of like a little tadpole or something. Oh, I'm happy today. Oh, today I'm going to be confident. But this is where all the stuff is happening in the subconscious, and you got the little tadpole saying, today I'm going to be happy. Today I'm going to be strong. Today I'm going to be peaceful. But, you know, but that it just fizzles away. So what the focus is going to here and reconditioning here, so that then that sprouts as a habit pattern, okay? Because then you have ingrained reflexes, you have neurological, you know, patterns, you have, you know, neuro wirings, and that's where the power is. And until this is understood, this science, this neuro type of science, this neuro-spiritual type of science, you know, you're not in business. You're just somebody bumbling around, and that literally could mean spending 50 years on a spiritual path and, you know, having dismal results. And, you know, that may sound kind of sad and negative or something, but it's the truth. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this video and make this a part 2 because I think I'm running out of time, and I'll look at the clock next time.